everyone. Welcome back to Ghosting with Anya. I'm your host, Anya Smith, also the author of Anya's Ghost Stories Volume 1 and Volume 2, The Return of the Dead. So, before we do the stories, I have a big announcement. We decided to get rid of our old apartment keys and the keys to our old mailbox. We decided to get rid of them because we no longer live at Kearney. We don't live at the Oak Creek Apartments anymore. So Chris, my husband, is going to give them back to the 75th and Pacific manager. Also, great news, guys. He got a second job at Marco's Pizza, only part-time, and he's going to be starting this Saturday in the evening. Only.
Making deliveries.
He's a delivery guy now. So he's going to use his own car to get some access so he can save up for the trip. So he had his interview like at 5 p.m. It's not too far from where we are. So he is starting actually this Saturday evening. What time are you doing it?
5 o'clock.
Well, okay. From 5 to 10, right?
Something like that, yes.
Okay, cool. It's a 5-hour job, so we can save money, so we can start getting ready for the trip, including for our next year's trip, which is the cruise night, cruise week. So, but yeah, he's got a new job, but he's keeping his other one. So, and there's my little kitty, my little baby. Hi, Tally. Hi, you wanted to hear Mommy's voice? Of course you wanted to hear Mommy's voice. Mommy's right here. Your daddy's right here too. So, yeah, my cat is right there. She's not just a cat. Not just a house cat, but she is part of the family. Treat her like our own child because she loves cuddling with her mommy and daddy. She loves getting a lot of attention. So this is why she's here with us. If we go somewhere, she's going to start crying, literally. She doesn't want us to leave because she's scared to death. So she's right there, right behind her husband on the back of the chair. Well, just right off of it. So we are doing the seamstress on the ferry. Something to do with the Ferris wheel, I don't know. But the episode is called The Seamstress on the Ferry. So, well, I guess we'll have to figure it out. So I had a great time, just hanging out with Fearless. Also, I got paid this morning. I had to pay my phone bill. Cost me about $54. The rest, I can do whatever the fuck I want. So I went out to eat with Fearless and his client, Vince. I had to pay for our lunch. I had to pay for my husband's lunch because he wanted me to order something for him from Village Inn, so I did. He had scrambled eggs. He had fried chicken steak.
Chicken fried steak with gravy, hash browns, and pancakes.
Plus the scrambled eggs. That's exactly what he wanted.
I have to admit, I like regular syrup better than the sugar-free you got me. But thank you, baby.
That's fine. So, yeah, that's exactly what my husband wanted, so I got it for him, which is to go. So, now I'm home. Chris got off work early, like at 3:30, so I had to go to Boost Mobile to pay my phone bill. That's fine. As well, I had to get other stuff too. Now I am back at the house, cooked dinner while my husband had to go for the delivery driver interview position at Marco's Pizza, and he got the job. So now he's gonna start going to his second work right after his first work is done. Isn't that right?
Yes.
It seems like you have like another 8 hours to go through.
About 5 or 6 hours at most.
Actually, you don't get off till 10 o'clock this Saturday.
Yeah, that's 5 hours.
I know, because you have another hours. See, my husband works from home, and he does Marriott from 8 o'clock in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon, or in the evening or whatever. But then at 5 o'clock, he has to go to Marco's Pizza and start delivering pizzas to the customers for another 5 hours. So that's like almost 11 hours, somewhere around there. See what I'm saying? Well, it depends. Can you do like the math? 8 hours plus another 5 hours.
Like 12 or 13.
13 hours.
Yes.
That is 13 hours, literally, of the whole freaking day. And my husband says on the cruise, we'll relax, eat amazing buffet, and in Seattle, see the Space Needle. That's what we're doing, yes. But that's next July, so we have to book a couple cabins. Well, Chris and I will book a cabin for the cruise, and then my producer and his son is coming with us. They're both coming with us. Fearless has to pay for his and his son. And there's another thing that my husband is doing now. He just said, in Paris, we greet with bonjour in each establishment and eat best croissants and hot cocoa. Yes. I'm not saying bonjour 1,000 times.
You only have to say it once when you go into each building or when you need the server's attention.
Yeah. So here's my little kitty right there. This is my baby. That's my little cuckoo head. I love her very much. And I love my husband. How you doing, my baby? Yeah, yeah. Okay, baby. Mommy loves you. It's okay. Mama loves you. So, she loves to hear my voice every time I do my show. So, anyway, I hope you guys are ready because I'm ready. So let's get started on the story. I just want to say thank you guys to the actor who finally noticed me after all these years that has never noticed me, because a lot of actors never have. Ever since I got on TikTok and finally noticed me when I do my show right here on YouTube, and decided to contact me. So I want to say thank you, Sam Hugan from Outlander, Lucy Lawless from Xena and Hercules, and Spartacus show. I just want to say thank you to all these guys, and they're amazing people. They're legendary. They're professional workers with their shows. I'm doing my show. Now I've become famous because I started doing my YouTube channel right here on live stream from my own house. So anyway, let's get started, because I hope this story is not as scary as you might think. So anyway, just sit back, relax, get something to drink as well, and please click like, share, and subscribe. So let's get started on the story. We're on episode 181, The Seamstress on the Ferry. Rena hated ferries on principle she disliked. The way they pretended slowness was scenic rather than inconvenient. And she trusted water only when landed held still nearby. But the island conference venue left her no alternative. So she boarded the early evening crossing with a backpack, a coffee she no longer wanted, and the resigned posture of someone prepared to endure 90 minutes of wind and fluorescent seating. The ferry was old enough to have creaks with distinct personalities. The passenger deck held rows of bolted chairs, a snack counter, and a viewing corridor lined with cloudy windows. Most people drifted toward the upper deck for air despite the cold. Rena stayed inside. Half an hour into the crossing, she noticed a woman seated at the far end of the passenger deck with a wicker sewing basket at her feet and a strip of pale fabric laid neatly across her lap. That alone would have been eccentric rather than alarming if the ferry had not posted signs everywhere forbidding loose craft materials for safety during rough water. The woman's clothing looked from another generation. Dark skirt, high neck blouse, shawl pinned close at the throat. Her hands moved constantly but not with visible tools, as if stitching something too fine for Rena to see. No one sat near her. A few passengers glanced over and then looked away with the automatic disinterest people use to preserve the ordinary. Rena tried to do the same, but after 10 minutes, she realized the woman was not sewing. She was resewing the hem of an infant gown or christening dress. Each imagined stitch pulled with exact concentration through fabric that fluttered in no breeze. The sea outside had turned rougher. Cups rattled softly on the snack counter. One hard tilt of the vessel sent several passengers grabbing seat backs. The woman never looked up. Then she said in a voice pitched only for the person nearest enough to hear, "I must have it finished before we dock." Unfortunately, Rena was that person. I'm guessing that this woman sewing or resewing something, perhaps a dress for a baby that doesn't even exist. I mean, maybe it's the guardian angel, just like in the previous story that I did yesterday. This one is something to do with a woman named Rena and this other woman. We don't know her name, of course. She appeared out of nowhere. Somehow she decided to sit right next to Rena. I think that's her name. Rina, I think. Rina, I don't know. It's a weird name. But anyway, Rena has no idea that this woman might be a ghost. Either she's a mom or she's a grandmother. We don't know. But something tells me that this might be the spirit is trying to tell Rena that she might be pregnant, or she's telling her that this dress for a child, like a newborn child, needs to be finished before this child is even born. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Do you think Rena might be pregnant? Well, she doesn't know that she might be pregnant because of that spirit is telling her that the dress that she's resewing might be Rena's future child. Do you think it is?
Yes.
Do you think Rena might be pregnant?
Yes.
Okay then. Well, anyway, my guess is that Rena might be pregnant, but we don't know. So let's find out as I continue reading the story. So, I need this. My mouth's so dry, I need something to drink. I've got my water, I've got my pop. I had tea earlier when I had with my friends. This pop is so refreshing.
Good.
Anyway, let's continue, guys. I hope this makes any sense to you all. Rena did what polite people do when trapped beside strangeness. She smiled badly and nodded, but the woman continued, though there were no possibility of disinterest. The baby cannot be buried in travel clothes, she said. The sentence dropped into fluorescent air with the cold finality of metal before Rena could decide whether to be compassionate or alarmed. The loudspeaker crackled with a weather advisory from the captain. Seas had intensified. Unexpectedly, passengers were asked to remain seated. The woman at the far end looked toward the windows for the first time, not with fear but with profound annoyance, as though the weather were interfering with private duty. At her feet, the wicker basket tipped. Out spilled not thread and scissors, but damp, folded cloths and a tiny pair of shoes. When the ferry docked, Rena asked a deckhand whether there had been some historical exhibit or custom event on the boat. The young man stared at her, then at the now empty seat, and said, "You saw the sewing lady?" He said it too casually, to be invention, and too nervously, to be routine. Later, over bad coffee at the Island Hotel, an older receptionist explained the local story. Decades earlier, during a winter crossing, a woman traveling with an infant lost the child to illness before the ferry reached the mainland, where relatives and a doctor were waiting. Witnesses said she sat the entire crossing sewing at the hem of a small burial garment while refusing help, insisting she only needed the shore to hold still a little longer. The child was taken ashore. The woman disappeared not long after and was never conclusively accounted for since then. Staff and passengers occasionally reported seeing a seamstress at sea during rough crossings, always finishing work against arrival. Rena should have let the story remain maritime oddity instead, because conferences exhaust the mind into bad bravery. She found herself on the return ferry 2 nights later, watching the passenger deck before the boat had even cleared the harbor. The weather held unpleasantly close to the conditions. The receptionist described sleet crosswind and water hard enough to slap the hull sideways. 40 minutes out, the woman appeared again in the far seat with the wicker basket. This time Rena stood and went directly to her, propelled by equal parts pity and irritation. The garment in the woman's lap was clearer now, a tiny white gown, one sleeve incomplete. Up close, the woman looked neither dead nor alive, so much as occupied beyond categories. You won't finish if you keep waiting until the crossing, Rena said, surprising herself. The seamstress looked up, and for the first time there was something like weariness in her eyes. There was nowhere else, she answered. Rena sat down opposite her despite every instinct. The ferry rocked, cups slid in their holders. Who was waiting on shore? She asked. The woman's hands never stopped moving. Her grandmother, she said, and a priest, and my brother with the carriage, and all of them too late to be useful. The bitterness in the final phrase felt fresh despite decades. Then the ferry lurched hard enough that several passengers cried out. The wicker basket tipped again. This time, instead of shoes, a small framed photograph slid across the floor and stopped against Rena's boot. It showed the same woman standing beside an older lady holding a bundled infant in front of a house with a broad stone stoop. Rena picked it up and, following no clear logic, said, if I carried the photo off the boat, would she still be waiting on shore? The seamstress's hand stopped for the first time. I'm guessing that this woman. Okay, I'm guessing that Rena is not really pregnant, because why would Rena end up having kids? Because she never has time. So I'm guessing this seamstress is the one who was a mom and had a baby. Her baby died from some kind of illness. Her newborn probably died. I don't know why. So this seamstress has no idea that that she's dead, she's a ghost, and she doesn't know what's happening. So my guess is that she is trying to finish making the baby dress for her baby girl. I think she had a daughter. We don't know the baby's name, but perhaps she's trying to figure out how to get to the other side of the shore and of the island, maybe find her brother and her grandmother with the carriage. Perhaps maybe they are from, I don't know, from like what, 200 years ago, maybe? We don't know. Maybe. Rena has no idea what year she's from, so maybe another generation. I don't really know. So let's finish the story before I go to questions with answers. If you have any opinions, if you have like any questions about it, let me know. You can leave me comments right here on live stream. So anyway, if you have any answers for this, is this related? Let me know what you guys think. We'll have to find out at the end, maybe. So let's continue on the story. And after this story, after all the questions and answers, I'm probably just going to hang out in my room or something, read a book. I need to actually finish reading the book, or I'm probably just going to watch YouTube videos or my shows on any streaming apps or whatever. Maybe Smallville or The Vampire Diaries, maybe Charmed, or watch anything like Disney Plus, maybe Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or maybe watch some Sabrina the Teenage Witch on Paramount Plus. So I need to watch all these shows. It depends what I want to watch. So anyway, let's continue on. We're about 27 minutes and counting while we're on live stream. So anyway, let's continue on. The answer came not as speech, but as the first truly frightened expression the woman had shown. She looked toward the gangway doors as though seeing distance measured differently. Rena took the photograph when the ferry docked and did not look back until she reached the eternal. The wind hit hard. The terminal. The wind hit hard. Families clustered with luggage. Harbor workers shouted over rope and diesel. And there, just beyond the barrier, stood an older woman in a dark coat clutching a rosary and peering into each disembarking face with the hope to still be sharp. When Rena held up the photograph without thinking, the woman on shore lowered her hand and smiled once with terrible gentleness. Back on the ferry deck, visible through the wet glass, the seamstress had risen from her seat and was no longer sewing. She stood holding the finished gown against her chest, like something finally ready to be handed over. The receptionist later told Rena no one had seen the sewing lady on that route since. Whether that was true or just the kind of local kindness people offer after being handed a story too intimate to keep entirely as folklore, Rena never learned what she kept was the photograph and uh, which dried without watermarks and now sits inside her desk drawer between tax forms and conference badges, where it looks absurdly ordinary. She still hates ferries, but she has become more careful about the kinds of labor people continue while waiting for shore. Mending, folding, preparing, finishing what grief asks of hands when the body cannot do anything more useful. The sea keeps many things, apparently. It also keeps a few errands until someone finally carries them the last short distance. This is just so tragic. A mom died, and the baby died as well. So, well, the baby died from illness. A mom died from a heartbroken because her baby died. No wonder why she died of a broken heart, because she lost everything. So she kept sewing the dress, anything, like a million times until she died of a broken heart. She kept redoing it a million times, even in death. So what Rena did was amazing. She helped a spirit cross over to the other side of the island so she can be reunited with her family. The only thing she had with her, well, Rena had the only thing that kept the spirit of a woman, the sewing lady, was a photograph of her family, apparently. What if Rena somehow, I don't know, either met her ancestor? What if that would have been her ancestor? But Rena has no idea. We don't know. So the story is finally done. Now the sewing lady is finally on the other side of the island, and well, she got what she wanted. She finished the little baby dress for her baby who died, and now she can rest in peace, be with her child, be with her grandma, be with her brother, of course. So, well, they could not rest in peace until the baby dress was finished. But now they're finally in heaven. And Rena still kept that photograph of that woman and her family. So they're watching over her now. So, but yeah, so let's get started on the questions and answers. We got 10 questions, 10 answers. I hope you guys are participating on this because I just want to hear what you guys think. I want your opinions. And do you guys think this story is related to real life events? Let me know in the comments down below if you think it is related. Let's get started on the questions. We're not doing the story now because we're finished with the story, and I hope it made sense. If it broke your heart, because it broke mine. All these stories, all these freaking tragedies, they break my heart constantly. Every time I read stories like that, every night, it just breaks my heart. It breaks my husband's heart. Isn't that right, Bubba?
Yes.
It actually does. Anyway, let's get started on the questions. Would you have sat down with the seamstress? Yes, I would. I would do anything to help her move on into the afterlife, be reunited with her family. Yeah, I actually absolutely would sit next to her, talk to her, and I would tell her that her baby is okay, she's in heaven, and I will find a way to reunite with you and your child and your grandma and your big brother or little brother or whatever. Definitely, I would definitely tell that spirit of a sewing lady. So I feel for her, how she died and how she lost her child. I lost my great uncle Alexander not too long ago. It was like, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
It's been 2 weeks now. Almost a week maybe, but actually it might be 2 weeks ago. So yeah. Anyway, I definitely would. Same question for you, Bubba. Would you have sat down with the seamstress?
Yes.
As in, like, the seamstress as a spirit of the sewing lady who kept sewing the dress over and over, repeating that time loop. Her final moments.
Yes.
I agree too. You can also leave me a comment about this.
Okay. I'm just sitting here talking.
Okay. To whom?
To you.
I meant on the phone.
Oh, just a friend, baby.
Okay.
Just an old coworker.
The one we met a couple months ago? Like 2 months ago?
I think so, yeah.
Do you remember where we met her?
Yeah.
Seen her?
At the zoo. She was a manager there. I'm
yeah.
messaging a guy I work at Marriott with or used to.
Oh. Wish her a happy 4th of July for me.
Sure.
So. Anyway, but yeah, so we definitely would. Let's go to number 2. What do you think kept her tied to the crossing? I think that kept her from crossing to the other side, not finishing the dress, or not being told the truth, what happened to her, or like something to do with the photograph, maybe. That seamstress actually had a photograph of herself and with her family, like at the house or whatever. That picture was taken centuries ago, probably maybe 200 years ago. It's sometime in the 1800s. I don't know. I don't even remember. Or early 1900s. I don't really know. But yes, this woman died of broken heart after losing her baby. She was so depressed. She probably starved herself, maybe. And that's why she lost everything, her life, her baby. It's obviously the photograph. So if the living took the photograph and crossed to the other side of the shore of the island and put the photograph on the desk, the spirit will finally be free. That is the reason why she was trapped in that little crossing, as in like it's like the ferry crossing, literally. I think maybe she was trapped. Her spirit was there for so long, for many decades. I probably would have done the same thing as Rena did. So if I ever gone there, well, if Chris and I did, we would help the spirit tell the truth. We would tell her what happened, and we can help her move on by carrying the photograph into other side of the island so she can actually reunite with her family. They also died from a broken heart, probably. So, anyway, let's go to number 3. Why is sewing such a powerful detail in this haunting? The sewing can be very powerful because this sewing lady is trying to finish making the dress for her baby. She wanted to put this baby dress on her baby so she can bury her baby properly, so she can be reunited with her child in heaven. Literally. She is sad because she can't get whatever she wanted, but she finally got what she wanted. Her picture was in the other side of the island, and she can be free. So what Rena did was amazing thing. She set her free, and she helped her move on. So that's what I think. And that's why the sewing is so powerful, because she was telling the story to Rena. She wanted Rena to know about her baby. What if Rena was her descendant and she has no idea? I guess we'll have to find out and see. Let's go to number 4. What was more unsettling, the basket contents, the infant gown, or the waiting grandmother? Same question for you. What was more unsettling, the basket contents, the infant gown, or the waiting grandmother?
The waiting grandmother.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Well, I think it was the infant gown for me. For me, it was the infant gown. So it's not just the basket contents or the waiting grandma. The grandma that was waiting for her daughter to return with the baby. Apparently, they never made it. So the baby died. The mother died. That's why she's stuck there inside that ferry crossing. So the grandmother somehow died and still waiting for her because of the photo. That's what kept the sewing lady from crossing to the other side. It's the photo. So the grandmother was waiting because she wanted to be reunited with her family. So I think it was the infant gown and the waiting grandma. Let's go to number 5. All right, guys, we have about 5 questions left before I sign off and get ready for bed. Well, I already brushed my teeth. I got cleaned up. So I'm probably just going to hang out in the bedroom, watch TV, put some lotion on because my skin is so dry. I have already taken my pills. I just need to put meds for my dinner.
Okay.
So I forgot to do that, but that's okay. Mommy's here, baby. It's mommy. Come here, baby. Hi. Yeah, I have a child who loves to hear her mommy's voice. Yeah. Yeah. You love mommy. I'm your mommy. Don't you die on me, baby girl. Okay. Don't. You've got 10 years until you die. So do not go away from me. Do not die on me.
Okay, baby, get back to the shoulder.
I know, I'm just telling my baby. Our baby.
Okay.
So anyway, sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure my child was still alive. Because she's got 10 years left. Cats usually live about 20 years, so it depends. But yeah. Anyway, Let's go with number 5. Was Rena right to take the photograph off the boat? Yes. The reason why she took that photograph is because to help the spirit to move on and be reunited with her family who died many decades ago after losing her, I guess. Well, the sewing lady died on the ferry crossing on winter storm, I guess, or whatever happened to her. I don't know, but yeah, she died, so that's what kept her in there. And the photograph was the one that actually kept her from moving on because she was so depressed, and this is how she died. Heartbroken. So, yes, Rena did the right thing so the sewing lady can be free. Let's go to number 6. Do you think the ferry itself held the haunting or the unfinished errand did? I think it definitely was, but, or actually, you know what? I think it was the unfinished errand because the sewing lady was trying to finish it before she reached to the other side of the island. So my answer is actually a yes. It probably did. And the unfinished errand. Let's go to number 7. Why do practical tasks during grief feel so emotionally intense? Well, the reason why is because it's a lot of memories, a lot of tragedies happen, a lot of bad memories that keep happening. So the past cannot be let go because it's just too painful for them to let go. They don't talk about it, but it's just too painful for them. So many bad memories that kept happening. This is why this woman can't let go until she's on the other side. But apparently, this lady is angry because she never had the chance to put this young baby dress on her baby because she lost her baby to illness and then she lost herself. Apparently, she lost her own life to grief and to depression and maybe to starving herself, I guess. Maybe that's what happened to her. I don't really know. But at least she finally got the truth. Truth hurts. And that's why she kept denying, probably. So it's so emotional because of the bad memories. That's the reason why. It's just too painful, too horrible to go back and relive those final moments. I remember that my mom told me the same problem she had. She couldn't do it anymore, so that's why we left. It was too painful for her, so she pretty much sold everything. Our house and the TV and pretty much everything else. That is the reason why. So, yeah. It was too painful for her. That's why she doesn't like to talk about it. It hurts too much. That's why these bad memories are gone forever. They're like in the deep of her mind, locked, far, far away. That's why. Anyway, let's go to number 8. We've got 3 questions left before I sign off. We are in 49 minutes now. We're almost done here. Would you ever ride that route again after this? Yes. I would definitely have that ride again, but also investigating it. I would try and get more evidence, the right questions, the right answers, to get a lot of evidence. I definitely would talk to some people, get the history, maybe go to the archives and find out what really happened to that sewing lady and to her family. I definitely would. Let's go to number 2. Number 9. We've got 2 questions left. Sorry about that. Can carry one object the last distance really complete a haunting? Well, yes, of course it can. I mean, a basket full of sewing stuff, a photograph, yes, it can. It does a complete a haunting. I mean, something good might happen, but when Rena took the photograph, she freed that spirit from the ferry crossing. So I think she definitely released a ghost. Now this sewing lady can move on into the afterlife, find her baby and her grandma and her brother. They can watch over the living from the other side, like from beyond the grave, from heavens, like up there in the sky. So yes, it can. Of course it can. Let's go to number 10. All right, guys, we are in 1 question left before I sign off. If a ghost asked you to finish an errand at shore, would you? Yes. Of course I would help the spirit to finish the errand. I would definitely do that. I mean, I would never ignore that advice. I would never turn away from that ghost. I would definitely help any way to get the spirit to move on into the afterlife. And my answer is yes. All right, guys, we are out of time. I just want to say thank you, guys, and thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
So, and I want to thank all of you, my fans, and I want to thank my producer for giving me a lot of ghost stories and got me hooked up with this podcast and giving me this beautiful pink gold laptop. So, and everything. Anyway, I want to thank a lot of people. So, have a wonderful night. Tomorrow we'll be doing the new story. It's called The Janitor in the Science Wing. That's the new story. And we'll be doing the episode 182. So we have about 100 something stories left. Once I get done with the last episode, which is 287, I will talk to my producer to get me more episodes, more stories. So I have like another year or so left before I can get more ghost stories and new season coming up anytime soon. So anyway, we still have another 100 videos and podcasting to do. So anyway, please click like, share, and subscribe. And have a wonderful night and happy 4th of July. Stay safe, guys. Stay hydrated, stay spooky, and have fun. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night at Ghosting with Anya on YouTube. So 8:30, not 8:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. So it's 9:30. So it's like almost an hour. So thank you guys and have a wonderful night. And don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe. May God bless you all and have a wonderful night. Bye.